The morning sun filtered softly through the towering glass windows of Olivia's Gems, the flagship jewelry store nestled in the heart of the city's most prestigious shopping mall. The air inside was cool, kept at a comfortable 72 degrees Fahrenheit, a welcome relief from the spring heat rising off the concrete outside. Olivia Lopez paused just beyond the entrance, her reflection caught in the glass. Gone was the signature elegance she wore as the owner of a luxury jewelry empire. Today she wore faded jeans, a cream sweater, and a canvas tote slung over her shoulder. Her hair was in a loose ponytail, her face free of makeup. She could have been any shopper blending into the crowd. She drew a deep breath, letting the familiar scent of polished wood and fresh-cut flowers settle her nerves. Stepping inside, Olivia felt the familiar awe of her own creation. The way the crystal chandeliers cast rainbows across the marble, the soft classical music, the glass cases lined with velvet and gold. Every detail was intentional, designed to make every customer feel special. But today, she was here to see what happened when someone didn't look the part. At the front desk, Sophia, the receptionist, glanced up. Her eyes flickered over Olivia's simple outfit, then dropped back to her phone. Not a word of welcome, not even a smile. A few feet away, Linda, a senior sales consultant, was all warmth and sparkle, chatting animatedly with a woman in a designer dress and her suited husband. Linda's laughter rang out, her posture attentive, her hands gracefully presenting a tray of diamond earrings. Olivia watched the contrast and felt a pang of disappointment. She wandered through the store, watching. Sophia ignored a young man in sneakers who hovered near the men's watches. Linda breezed past a mother and daughter in matching hoodies, barely glancing at them. But when another customer entered in heels and a silk blouse, Sophia straightened, her voice suddenly sweet. "Welcome to Olivia's Gems. Can I get you a coffee or sparkling water?" Olivia moved to the diamond necklace display, letting her fingers drift over a delicate piece that caught the light. She turned to Linda. "Excuse me, could you tell me about this necklace?" Her voice was soft, almost hesitant. Linda's smile was polite, but her eyes slid over Olivia's outfit. "That's one of our signature pieces, set in 18-karat white gold with conflict-free diamonds. It's $12,000. Her tone was matter-of-fact, almost dismissive. Olivia nodded. "It's beautiful. Do you offer financing?" Linda's answer was clipped. "We do, but this piece is really for our serious buyers. It's not for everyone." She gestured toward a nearby case. "We have some lovely silver pendants that are much more affordable." Olivia felt her cheeks flush. She pressed on, asking about warranties and return policies. Linda's answers grew shorter. Sophia, watching from the desk, leaned over and whispered something to Linda. They both glanced at Olivia, then looked away, stifling a laugh. Determined, Olivia asked to see a diamond bracelet from the VIP collection. Linda hesitated, then said, "That area is reserved for our exclusive clients. Maybe you'd be more comfortable with our standard line." Sophia added, "We just want to make sure you find something in your price range." Olivia's heart pounded. She was being steered away from her own store's best, not for her questions, but for her appearance. She forced a smile, thanked them, and wandered back toward the entrance. As she passed the front desk, she heard Sophia murmur, "Some people just want to pretend." Outside, Olivia paused. The weight of disappointment settled on her shoulders. She built Olivia's Gems on the promise that every customer would be treated with respect and care, no matter what. Yet here she was, invisible in her flagship, judged for a pair of jeans and a canvas tote. She watched shoppers stream by, some in business suits, others in yoga pants and sneakers. How many of them had been dismissed, steered away, or made to feel small? The realization stung, but it also lit a spark inside her. This wasn't just about her. It was about every customer who deserved better. Olivia straightened her shoulders, her resolve hardening. She wasn't done. She would see this through. For herself and for everyone who walked through those doors. With a determined breath, she stepped back inside, ready to experience every corner of her store as a true outsider and to find out just how deep the problem ran. The day was just beginning and Olivia Lopez was just getting started. A sharp autumn wind rattled the glass doors of Olivia's Gems as Olivia Lopez stepped outside for a moment, her heart pounding from what she just experienced. She'd spent the last hour in her own flagship store, not as the CEO, but as a woman in jeans and a sweater, a canvas tote slung over her shoulder. And in that hour, she'd seen more about her business than she had in years of board meetings. She wasn't ready to leave. Not yet. She took a slow breath then slipped back inside, determined to see how deep the problem ran. The store was busy for a Tuesday morning. A woman in a tailored navy suit admired a sapphire ring at the main counter. Sophia, the receptionist, was smiling and energetic, offering her a cappuccino and a seat in the VIP lounge. Linda hovered nearby, attentive. Her voice honey-sweet as she described the stone's provenance and the designer's vision. The customer sipped her coffee, nodding along, her body language open and relaxed. Olivia watched from a distance, her own presence barely acknowledged. She wandered toward the silver jewelry case, where a young man in faded sneakers and a hoodie was quietly looking at a pair of cufflinks. He hesitated, then asked Sophia if he could see them. Sophia's smile faltered. "Those are quite expensive," she said, her tone suddenly clipped. "Are you sure you're interested?" The young man nodded, cheeks flushing. "They're a gift from my dad." Sophia sighed, unlocked the case, and handed them over without another word. Linda, catching the exchange, shot Sophia a look, then turned back to the woman in the suit. Olivia's chest tightened. She moved to the next display, where a mother and daughter in matching sweatshirts admired a row of charm bracelets. Linda approached, her smile polite but distant. "These are very popular," she said. "But if you're looking for something more affordable, we have a sales section in the back." The mother's face fell, and she led her daughter away, the excitement gone from her eyes. At that moment, a tall man in a crisp blazer entered the store. Sophia straightened, her voice suddenly bright. "Welcome to Olivia's Gems. Can I offer you some champagne?" The man grinned, basking in the attention. Linda hurried over, offering to show him the latest collection of diamond watches. Olivia felt invisible. She drifted to the far end of the store, where a display of engagement rings sparkled under the lights. She lingered, watching as Sophia and Linda ignored a young couple who looked nervous but hopeful. Their hands entwined as they peered at the rings. When the woman finally gathered the courage to ask about a setting, Linda barely glanced up. "That one starts at $6,000, she said. "If you're on a budget, the silver bands are over there." The couple exchanged a glance, then quietly left. Olivia's frustration simmered. She could see the pattern: deference for the wealthy, indifference for everyone else. She wondered how many customers had walked away, feeling small and unwelcome, just because they didn't look the part. She decided to test the staff. She approached Linda, pointing to the most expensive diamond necklace in the case. "Could I see that one, please?" she asked. Linda hesitated, then forced a smile. "That's a very special piece," she said. "It's $28,000. Are you sure?" Olivia nodded. Linda unlocked the case, her movement stiff. She handed Olivia the necklace, watching her closely. "It's a big purchase," she said, her tone skeptical. "We do have financing options if you're interested." Olivia smiled politely, her hand steady as she examined the necklace. "Thank you. What's your return policy?" Linda's answer was curt. 4 pieces in this price range, all sales are final." Sophia hovered nearby, whispering to Linda, "She's probably not serious. Don't waste your time." Olivia's face burned. She handed the necklace back, thanked Linda, and stepped away. She watched as Sophia and Linda exchanged a look, then turned their attention to a woman in designer heels who just walked in. The rest of the morning played out the same way. Customers in designer clothes were ushered to the VIP lounge, where they were offered drinks and shown the best pieces. Those in jeans or casual wear were steered toward the sales section, their questions answered with impatience or not at all. Olivia felt a mix of anger and sadness. This was not the store she'd built. She remembered her own mother, who had been saving for months to buy a simple gold pendant for Olivia's 16th birthday. She remembered the pride in her mother's eyes, the way the saleswoman had treated her with respect, even though she'd come in wearing a thrift store dress. That memory steeled Olivia's resolve. She watched the staff closely, noting the small kindnesses from a junior associate named Mia, who quietly helped an elderly man pick out a gift for his wife, never once glancing at his worn jacket. She saw a security guard help a lost child find her mother. There were still good people here, people who understood what Olivia's Gems was supposed to stand for. But the problem was clear. The culture had shifted. Somewhere along the way, respect had become reserved for the wealthy, and everyone else was an afterthought. By noon, Olivia was exhausted. She slipped outside, her mind racing. She knew what she had to do. The time for watching was over. The next step would be bold, and it would leave no room for doubt about what kind of business Olivia's gems would be. As she walked through the mall, blending in with the crowd, Olivia felt something she hadn't felt in years, a fire in her belly, a determination to make things right. She was ready to remind her team and herself that true luxury was about dignity, not dollars. And she would start by showing them what respect really looked like. No matter what someone wore or how much they spent, Olivia Lopez stood in the center of her flagship store, her pulse steady, her mind sharper than ever. She'd spent days observing, blending in, watching the way Sophia and Linda treated customers who didn't fit the luxury mold. She'd seen enough, the dismissive glances, the subtle steering toward cheaper displays, the way laughter and warmth were reserved for those who looked wealthy. It was time to act. She waited for a lull in the afternoon rush, then approached the main diamond case. The store was quiet, sunlight streaming through the windows and glinting off the glass. Linda stood behind the counter, scrolling through her phone. Sophia was at the front desk, chatting with a security guard. Olivia's heart pounded as she rehearsed the next steps in her head. She'd been invisible long enough. She cleared her throat. "Excuse me, could I see that necklace?" She pointed to the most expensive piece in the case, a platinum chain set with flawless emerald-cut diamonds, price tag, $38,000. Linda barely looked up. "That's a very exclusive piece," she said, her tone cool. "Are you sure you want to see it?" Olivia nodded. "Yes, please." Linda hesitated, then unlocked the case and lifted the necklace out, holding it as if it might break. "It's quite valuable," she said, glancing at Sophia, who raised an eyebrow. Olivia smiled politely. "I understand. I'd like to try it on." Linda's lips tightened, but she handed the necklace over. Olivia draped it around her neck, feeling the weight of the diamonds against her skin. She caught her reflection in the mirror in jeans, a sweater, a canvas tote. And now a necklace worth more than some people's homes. The contrast was almost laughable. Sophia approached, her voice low. "We do require a credit check for purchases over $10,000, she said. Her eyes flicking to Olivia's shoes. Olivia nodded. "That's fine. I'll be paying in full." She reached into her tote and pulled out a black leather wallet. From it, she produced a platinum credit card, the kind reserved for the world's wealthiest clients. Linda's eyes widened. She took the card, examining it closely, then glanced at Sophia, who looked stunned. "I'll need to get my manager," Linda said, her voice suddenly uncertain. A few moments later, Mr. Henry, the store manager, appeared. He was tall, impeccably dressed, with a practiced smile. "Good afternoon, ma'am. I understand you're interested in the diamond necklace." Olivia nodded, her tone calm. "Yes. I'd like to purchase it." Mr. Henry's smile faltered as he took in her outfit. But he quickly recovered. "Of course. Would you like to see any other pieces?" Olivia shook her head. "No, thank you. Just this one." Linda ran the card. The transaction went through instantly. The receipt is printed, crisp, and final. Olivia signed her name with a steady hand. There was a hush in the store. Sophia and Linda exchanged glances, their faces pale. "Mr. Henry tried to recover his composure. "Would you like this gift wrapped?" he asked. Olivia shook her head, then reached up and removed her sunglasses. She looked directly at the staff, her voice clear and unwavering. "Actually, I think there's something you all should know." Sophia's eyes widened. Linda's mouth fell open. Olivia set the necklace on the counter and drew herself up to her full height. "My name is Olivia Lopez. I'm the owner of Olivia's Gems." Silence fell. The security guard stopped mid-step. The woman in the navy suit at the sapphire counter turned, her eyes wide. Olivia continued, her voice steady but full of emotion. "I came here today dressed like any other customer because I wanted to see how people are treated when they don't look like they're about to spend a fortune. What I experienced was disappointing. I was ignored, steered away from the best pieces, and made to feel like I didn't belong in my own store." She turned to Mr. Henry. "Is this how we treat people? Is this the culture we're building?" Mr. Henry stammered. "Ms. Lopez, I assure you this isn't typical dash." Olivia held up a hand. "I'm not interested in excuses. I want to hear from everyone. Right now." She looked at the staff. "If you've ever felt pressured to treat customers differently based on how they look, I want you to speak up." For a moment no one said a word. Then Mia. The junior associate who'd quietly helped the elderly man earlier stepped forward. Sometimes I feel like I'm supposed to ignore people who don't look rich. But it never felt right. The security guard nodded. I've seen people walk out upset because they were brushed off. Olivia listened, her anger cooling into resolve. She turned to Sophia and Linda. You both will be suspended while we investigate. This isn't about one bad day or one mistake, it's about the culture we allow. She faced the room. From this moment on, Olivia's Gems will respect every guest. We will treat everyone with dignity, no matter what they wear or how much they spend. That's how I built this business, and that's how we'll move forward. She thanked Mia for her integrity, promising a review for promotion. She asked Mr. Henry to schedule a mandatory staff meeting for everyone the next day. As Olivia left the store, necklace in hand, she felt the eyes of every employee and customer on her. She paused at the door, turning back one last time. True luxury, she said, isn't about price tags. It's about how we make people feel. Outside, the city bustled on. Olivia walked into the sunlight, her resolve stronger than ever. She knew the most challenging work was still behind changing hearts, not just policies. But as she glanced at her reflection in the glass, she saw not just a CEO but a leader ready to reclaim the soul of her company. Inside, the staff stood silent, the lesson settling in. For the first time, they understood, at Olivia's Gems, respect wasn't for sale. It was the foundation of everything. The fallout from Olivia Lopez's undercover reveal at her flagship store was immediate and undeniable. The next morning, the air inside Olivia's Gems felt sharper, the light brighter. As if the entire space had been scrubbed clean of its old, invisible rules. Customers drifted in, their footsteps echoing on the marble floor, but the staff, especially Sophia, moved with a new, nervous energy. The shock of the previous day still lingered in every glance and whispered conversation. Olivia arrived just after 9 a.m., dressed in a tailored navy suit and low heels. Her hair swept up in a no-nonsense bun. She didn't pause at the entrance this time. She strode through the doors with quiet authority, her presence radiating a calm but unmistakable purpose. She greeted every employee by name, her eyes lingering on each one, searching for something more profound than a polite smile. Mr. Henry, the manager, waited for her in the office. He looked uneasy, his usually impeccable posture stiff. Ms. Lopez, he began, I want to apologize for. Olivia held up a hand, her tone gentle but firm. No apologies yet, Henry. Today we listen and we learn. This is about more than one bad day. She called a staff meeting in the store's private lounge, a sunlit space with plush chairs and a view of the bustling mall below. The entire team gathered. Sophia and Linda, their faces pale, Mia, the junior associate, looking both nervous and hopeful, the security guard, a few part-time salespeople, and even the cleaning crew. Olivia waited until everyone was seated before she spoke. I built Olivia's Gems on the belief that every person who walks through our doors deserves respect. No matter what they wear, what they drive, or how much they plan to spend, she began. Yesterday, I saw what happens when we lose sight of that. She paused, letting her words settle. This isn't about blaming one or two people. It's about the culture we've allowed to grow. So today, I want to hear from all of you. What's really happening here? What pressures do you feel? What's getting in the way of treating every guest with dignity? For a moment, no one spoke. Then Mia, voice shaky but determined, broke the silence. Sometimes I feel like I'm supposed to ignore people who don't look rich. But I hate it. I want to help everyone. Not just the ones in designer clothes. A part-time associate nodded. I've seen customers walk out because they felt unwelcome. I tried to help, but I was told to focus on serious buyers. It doesn't feel right. Sophia's eyes filled with tears. I'm sorry, Ms. Lopez. I thought I was just following what everyone expected. I never meant to hurt anyone. Linda, her voice barely above a whisper, added, I got caught up in trying to impress the big spenders. I forgot why I started working here in the first place. Olivia listened, her heart heavy but hopeful. She turned to Mr. Henry. What do you have to say? He swallowed, his voice strained. I let things slide. I wanted to hit our sales targets, and I thought catering to wealthy clients was the way to do it. I lost sight of your vision. Olivia nodded. Thank you for your honesty. But accountability matters. Sophia and Linda, you'll both be suspended while we review your conduct. Henry, you'll work with me to retrain the entire team. Mia, I want you to help lead our new customer service initiative. Your compassion is exactly what this store needs. She outlined her plan, mandatory training for every employee on empathy inclusion, and the core values of Olivia's Gems, a new respect every guest policy posted at every entrance and on the website, an anonymous feedback system for both staff and customers, and regular check-ins with the team to ensure the culture never slipped again. Olivia also recognized those who had quietly done the right thing. She praised Mia for her kindness, the security guard for helping lost children, and a cleaner who had once comforted a crying customer. She announced bonuses and opportunities for advancement for those who embodied the spirit of the brand. The changes didn't stop at the flagship. Olivia sent a company-wide memo to every store in the chain, sharing her undercover experience and the lessons learned. She urged every manager to look beyond appearances and to remember that true luxury was about dignity, not dollars. Within days, the effects were visible. Customers noticed the differences were warmer, the service more attentive, and the atmosphere far more welcoming. Shoppers in jeans and sneakers lingered at the diamond cases, asked questions, and were treated with the same care as those in designer suits. Sales actually improved as word spread that Olivia's Gems was a place where everyone felt valued. Olivia made a point to be present on the sales floor, greeting customers, listening to their stories, and reminding her team, by example, what leadership looked like. She encouraged staff to share their own ideas for making the store more inclusive, and she celebrated every small victory. One afternoon, a woman in a faded sweatshirt and worn sneakers came in, her eyes wide with wonder. She asked to see a simple gold pendant. Mia helped her with patience and respect, answering every question as if she were the store's most important client. The woman left with a smile and a promise to return. As the weeks passed, the flagship store transformed. Staff morale improved, turnover dropped, and customer loyalty soared. Olivia knew the work wasn't done, and changing hearts and habits took time. But she felt a deep sense of pride every time she saw a team member go out of their way to make a guest feel special. Olivia's Gems became known not just for its exquisite jewelry but for its unwavering commitment to respect and kindness. The story of the undercover boss who bought a necklace in jeans and a sweater, and demanded better for everyone spread through the city, inspiring other businesses to rethink how they treated their own customers. As Olivia stood by the window one evening, watching the city lights flicker across the marble floor, she realized that the true legacy of her brand wasn't in gold or diamonds. It was in the way people felt when they walked through her doors, seen, valued, and respected. That, she knew, was worth more than anything money could buy. There's a certain hush that falls over a jewelry store in the early morning before the first customer walks in, and the lights have fully warmed the velvet-lined cases. But on this particular day, Olivia Lopez could sense a different kind of quiet at her flagship. The air was thick with anticipation, the kind that comes after a storm when everyone is waiting to see what the new day will bring. Olivia arrived just before 9 a.m., her heels clicking across the marble floor, her posture as straight as the glass cases that lined the store. She wore a deep green dress, understated but elegant, her hair swept back, her eyes clear and focused. She greeted each staff member by name, her voice gentle but firm. There was no trace of the woman in jeans and a sweater who'd slipped through the doors just days before, invisible to all but the most observant. Mr. Henry, the manager, was waiting in his office. He stood when she entered, his face drawn, his hands folded tightly on the desk. "Ms. Lopez," he began, "I want to say dash." She cut him off with a slight wave of her hand. "We'll talk soon, Henry. But first I want to speak with the whole team." Within minutes, every employee was gathered in the staff lounge, a sunlit space with plush chairs and a view of the city skyline. Sophia and Linda sat side by side, their faces pale, eyes darting nervously. Mia, the junior associate, looked hopeful but anxious. The rest of the staff, security, cleaning crew, and part-timers sat in a loose semicircle, waiting. Olivia stood before them, her presence commanding but her voice warm. "I started Olivia's Gems because I believed luxury should be about more than price tags. It should be about dignity, respect, and kindness, values that matter no matter who you are or what you wear." She paused, letting her words settle. "Yesterday, I saw what happens when we forget that." She looked around the room, her gaze lingering on Sophia and Linda. "This is not about blaming one or two people. It's about the culture we've allowed to grow." So today I want to hear from all of you. What's really happening here? What makes it hard to treat every guest with respect? For a moment, silence. Then Mia spoke up, her voice trembling but strong. Sometimes I feel like I'm supposed to ignore people who don't look rich. But I hate it. I want to help everyone, not just the ones in designer clothes. A part-time associate nodded. I've seen customers walk out because they felt unwelcome. I tried to help, but I was told to focus on serious buyers. It doesn't feel right. Sophia's eyes filled with tears. I'm sorry, Ms. Lopez. I thought I was just doing what was expected. I never meant to hurt anyone. Linda, her voice barely above a whisper, said, I got caught up in trying to impress the big spenders. I forgot why I started working here in the first place. Olivia listened, her heart heavy but hopeful. She turned to Mr. Henry. What do you have to say? He swallowed, his voice strained. I let things slide. I wanted to hit our sales targets, and I thought catering to wealthy clients was the way to do it. I lost sight of your vision. Olivia nodded. Thank you for your honesty. But accountability matters. Sophia and Linda, you'll both be suspended while we review your conduct. Henry, you'll work with me to retrain the entire team. And Mia, I want you to help lead our new customer service initiative. Your compassion is exactly what this store needs. She outlined her plan, mandatory training for every employee on empathy inclusion. And the core values of Olivia's Gems, a new respect every guest policy posted at every entrance and on the website, an anonymous feedback system for both staff and customers, and regular check-ins with the team to ensure the culture never slipped again. Olivia also recognized those who had quietly done the right thing. She praised Mia for her kindness, the security guard for helping lost children, and a cleaner who had once comforted a crying customer. She announced bonuses and opportunities for advancement for those who embodied the spirit of the brand. The changes didn't stop at the flagship. Olivia sent a company-wide memo to every store in the chain, sharing her undercover experience and the lessons learned. She urged every manager to look beyond appearances and to remember that true luxury was about dignity, not dollars. Within days, the effects were visible. Customers noticed the differences were warmer, the service more attentive, and the atmosphere far more welcoming. Shoppers in jeans and sneakers lingered at the diamond cases, asked questions, and were treated with the same care as those in designer suits. Sales actually improved as word spread that Olivia's Gems was a place where everyone felt valued. Olivia made a point to be present on the sales floor, greeting customers, listening to their stories, and reminding her team by example what leadership looked like. She encouraged staff to share their own ideas for making the store more inclusive, and she celebrated every small victory. One afternoon, a woman in a faded sweatshirt and worn sneakers came in, her eyes wide with wonder. She asked to see a simple gold pendant. Mia helped her with patience and respect, answering every question as if she were the store's most important client. The woman left with a smile and a promise to return. As the weeks passed, the flagship store transformed. Staff morale improved, turnover dropped, and customer loyalty soared. Olivia knew the work wasn't done. Changing hearts and habits took time. She felt a deep sense of pride every time she saw a team member go out of their way to make a guest feel special. Olivia's Gems became known not just for its exquisite jewelry but for its unwavering commitment to respect and kindness. The story of the undercover boss who bought a necklace in jeans and a sweater and demanded better for everyone throughout the city, inspiring other businesses to rethink how they treated their own customers. As Olivia stood by the window one evening, watching the city lights flicker across the marble floor, she realized that the true legacy of her brand wasn't in gold or diamonds. It was in the way people felt when they walked through her door, seen, valued, and respected. That, she knew, was worth more than anything money could buy. The first Monday after Olivia Lopez's undercover reveal, the flagship store felt transformed. Sunlight streamed through the glass, catching on the facets of 1,000 diamonds, but it was the energy in the air that sparkled most. Staff moved with new purpose, their greetings warmer, their eyes meeting each guest's gaze without judgment. Mia, now promoted to lead associate, welcomed a young father in jeans and a t-shirt, helping him pick a necklace for his daughter's graduation. No one glanced at his shoes or hesitated at his questions with genuine care, the way Olivia always intended. Olivia watched from the edge of the sales floor, her heart full. She saw Sophia and Linda, recently reinstated after their suspension and retraining, moving with humility and a new sense of empathy. They listened more, smiled more, and even asked Mia for advice when a nervous customer lingered by the engagement rings. Mr. Henry, the manager, checked in with every team member, not just on sales but on their well-being and ideas for making the store more welcoming. Customers noticed. A woman in faded jeans and sneakers left with a velvet box and tears in her eyes, telling Mia it was the first time she'd ever felt truly seen in a luxury store. A group of high school friends, giggling and shy, were treated to the same level of respect as the city's wealthiest socialites. Olivia knew the journey wasn't over. Changing a culture meant more than new policies, it meant daily choices, small acts of kindness, and the courage to stand up for what's right. She gathered her team at closing, sunlight fading over the city's skyline, and reminded them, every guest deserves dignity. That's the real luxury. Have you ever witnessed or experienced a similar situation where kindness and understanding broke down prejudices? Share your story in the comments. We'd love to hear your thoughts. If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our channel so you don't miss our following stories.